The Nuggets draw first blood in their first ever trip to the NBA Finals in a Game 1 win over the Miami Heat, 104-93. Now with us tonight to break down the series opener are NBA Hype hosts, Coach Charles Chu and Isaac Go. Gentlemen, great to have you both in the same room with varying opinions on this matter in particular. I was surprised.
The first time.
First time.
I usually just listen to Isaac.
No, I listen to you.
Ang sweet nyo naman. But Charles, I want to start off with you first because you actually did call the game for our local coverage here. So what were your first impressions of the entire game now that you had a chance to take a step back?
Well, I thought that the Nuggets just looked really good. I mean, they were the more aggressive team. They were fresher than the Heat, and I think that was pretty evident. I like how they attacked the zone. I know you disagree with me here, but it just seems like they have solutions for everything that Miami was trying to throw at them, and that scares me for the sake of the Heat.
And how about you, Isaac?
I think we saw the notes earlier, but the gap wasn't that big for me because everyone says, "Oh, Miami's coming 7 games." But in a game where Jokic had a triple-double, AG, Michael Porter, almost everyone I can name from Denver had a good game. They only lost by 9 points. So yes, Miami looked fatigued. Yes, their shots were ending up short a lot of times. Yes, they have stuff to figure out, but they got a good game from Haywood Highsmith, Tyler Hero potentially returning the series, so it could make things interesting.
And Isaac, you also mentioned that, in this game, you found out that Denver is the deeper team. And speaking of that, you mentioned that you have one X factor, and that's Aaron Gordon. 16 points in game 1, Why him?
And even there's this video I watched where after every game, Coach Mike Malone likes to award like a necklace to the one outstanding player of the game. And this game, he gave it to AG. Yes, he could have given it to Jamal, MPJ, Jokic, but he even acknowledged that the way he started the game, way he got aggressive early, got inside position, that just set the tone for the rest of the game.
And speaking about setting the tone for the game, it felt like Denver got anything they wanted offensively. Now, to the point that we disagreed on, Charles, that we did not explain to anyone else, I disagreed with you on what you're going to mention, which is that the zone won't be effective. And I disagree because I think that it could work in situations, especially when Jokic is on the bench. But you did mention that there is a big defensive problem for the Miami Heat, and it's not just the zone.
No, look, I agree with you. When Jokic is on the bench, that's when they first pulled it out in the first half, and it actually worked for a while. It did work in the fourth too, but you look at the shots that Denver missed in that stretch when they went zone. Jokic had a gimme that he'll make 90% of the time. Murray missed a wide open shot too in the middle. And then they missed a few open threes. Now, it worked against the Celtics because the Celtics couldn't hit threes. And it may work, but I just don't think it's a solution. Denver's the second best team against the zone in the whole regular season. And then they have Jokic, who is probably number 1 PPP in the zone. So that's a big difference.
Yeah.
But I think the problem for the Heat defensively is that they have one Jimmy Butler. He cannot defend everybody. That's why Highsmith, who Isaac mentioned, played really well because they want him on Murray. But Butler, somebody has to guard Aaron Gordon. And whenever it was Gabe Vincent, they just punished whoever Gabe Vincent was guarding. And Duncan Robinson's also a weak link. So I don't think the Heat have enough defenders in the perimeter to slow down the Nuggets. And that's why I'm worried for them.
And speaking of, who are they going to slow down? Let's talk about the duo of Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray putting up 27 and 26 apiece. I mean, how solid has their connection and chemistry been, not just like in the playoffs, but the whole season, Isaac?
Are they the best? Sorry, are they the best 1-2 combination?
Ooh, that's tough, but it goes all the way back when they were in college or entering the pros. They went to the Nike Hoop Summit where they actually met, where they played together on Team World. But it's really, you can see that they're the perfect pair because Jokic is a guy who can score, who can assist, who can dish. So when he's on the floor, Jamal does the scoring load, but usually off Jokic assists. When Jokic gets off the floor, that's when Jamal takes over, gets all the ball handling he wants, and you just see that they complement each other.
So when you look at the numbers here, especially for the Miami Heat and the guys who really shine throughout the entire Eastern Conference Finals, a lot of them did not show up shooting-wise, especially. And in fact, that leads us to one of the key points for the Miami Heat, for Coach Charles, in terms of actually taking a game away. That shooting has to be addressed.
Yeah, they got to hit their outside shots. I mean, you can't go, was it 0 for 9 for Strus? Caleb Martin couldn't hit a shot either after a great Eastern Conference Finals. Lowry hit some threes towards the end. Duncan Robinson couldn't get his groove going too, but that's going to be huge for them because that's the shot that the Nuggets seem to be willing to give up that in that long to those mid-range games. Obviously, if Tyler Hero comes back, he would address that, but he also is a weak link defensively. And can I just jump into your question to Isaac? I do think they are the best dynamic duos. I mean, they've trumped every super duo, the Suns, the Lakers, and you name it. And right now, they're 1-0 in the finals, so I think...
Had to bring that out.
Yeah,
You
he had to. And of course, we all talk about the guys in the background for the Miami Heat, but you also specified that Jimmy Butler has to score more. I think a lot of viewers saw him do a lot of search dribbling, really being the playmaker. But that might not be the guy Miami need right now.
I think so. I mean, he had a decent game, 7 rebounds, 7 assists with 14 points. But I just felt he was too passive. He's the one guy who can get to the free throw line. And against the Nuggets, you have to get to the free throw line so they can't run. You get to the free throw line, you slow the game down, get your foul shots, and he's a great foul shooter, but you can't win a game shooting 2 free throws. And I think he said it himself, he has to be more aggressive too.
That is the lowest output from an NBA team in the finals, by the way. 2 free throw attempts, and it only happened 6 times in the entire NBA history. So really tough to win.
Crazy. I mean, that's right, Coach. He said that like after the game, he's like, I have to be more aggressive. But Bam was the aggressive one for his team in Game 1. But now let's go over to Denver. Isaac, what do you think can they build on to possibly take another Game 2 at home?
We just saw it today that they literally swung the hammer, swung it hard, swung it fast, and sent a statement. Now, the game could have been a little bit closer for comfort, around 9 points, but they showed that Miami's wearing down. They just gotta put the pedal to the metal, keep hammering them, and they could probably maybe even sweep the series.
Charles said the exact same thing, by the way, so we're not gonna dive too deep into
He
that.
just said the gap's not too big, and now you're saying they're gonna sweep the series?
They can. Well, it could be a competitive sweep, like what happened to the Lakers. I'm sorry, Lakers fans.
I hope it's a close series.
All right. Well,
we want more work.
Yeah,
man.
we'll see. But what's really interesting here, Isaac, is that you want to focus on the defense of Miami as a key for them to win, which is to how to guard Jokic and find a way to continue to feed Bam. So the center position really important to you.
Definitely, because I think, as we've seen in this playoff series, when Bam's aggressive, when Bam scores above 20 points, they pick up wins. And today, I liked how he was aggressive, kind of passive in the Boston series. But in terms of defense, they have to make a decision. Because Jokic can do both. They have to take one away.
And with that said, we were just talking about it. Jelovito was here the other day.
The other big man of the show.
He already brought out a hot take for this one, and he said it will be Denver in 6. Do you agree? Coach Charles first, and then Isaac.
5 or 6, I think so. I just think Denver's going to win it all. They're playing at the high level that reminds me of that Spurs team that lost to the Heat and went back the next and just killed everybody. I mean, they're on a 7-game winning streak. They haven't lost a game at home in the playoffs, and they look really good right now.
I think a hot take would be Denver in 4, but I think I agree with the statement too. 5 and 6, that's I think the sweet spot.
Stop being safe. So are you saying Denver in 4?
No, Denver in 6.
Denver in 6 for the two of you. I'm going to say Denver in 6 for you, Charles.
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5. All right, we'll make
A
it 5
lot of
for
hot
him.
takes being thrown out here tonight.